14 CFR FCC Part 97 contains the rules and regulations that govern amateur activity for U.S. hams. It makes for a very thick book and dry reading, unless you're a lawyer, I guess. This set of regulations establishes the FCC control over amateurs, defines every possible mode that can be used, operating frequencies, power limits, and much, much more. So, it's good we're not going to read through the whole thing. Though a link to the latest version is available in the video description below if you'd like to read through it on your own dime. Maybe you could suggest it to your book club. Just an idea. We're going to look at the very first part, paragraph 97.1, which is titled Basis and Purpose. I'll provide short commentaries after each section, but it's only my opinion. Yours may certainly differ, and I welcome you to make use of the comment section below to express your views. So, without further ado, paragraph 97.1 opens with a very general statement that introduces the rest of the document. The rules and regulations in this part are designed to provide an amateur radio service having a fundamental purpose as expressed in the following principles. This recognizes that the amateur radio service has a fundamental purpose. We're not just out there playing. Next, it goes on to recognize 5 principles. The first, recognition and enhancement of the value of the amateur service to the public as a voluntary, non-commercial communications service, particularly with respect to providing emergency communications. In this, the federal government recognizes our value and intends that the regulations enhance our service. It recognizes that we are a voluntary service, meaning that no federal agency has the right to demand our services. However, it is expected that in times of emergency, many of us will freely offer our services as we have in the past. The second, continuation and extension of the amateur's proven ability to contribute to the advancement of the radio art. Notice that this principle speaks of the amateur as an individual, as a person, not as a service or a group. Every improvement to the hobby was thought up by, developed by, and taught to others by individual hams. Many of the things that our non-ham friends take for granted were invented and improved on by hams. The third principle says, encouragement and improvement of the radio amateur service through rules which provide advancing skills in both the communication and technical phases of the art. I got that a little wrong, but you can read it. Hams have always been experimenters. We are always looking for the ways to improve and innovate on our skills and equipment to advance our personal hobbies. We started off with noisy, inefficient, spark gap transmitters and using only Morse code. Now, we have our own satellites. We have amateurs on the International Space Station. We talk worldwide using digital voice on handheld transceivers. We have desktop rigs with computing power that would put the Apollo program, or really anything older than 10 years, to shame. And new modes and technologies seem to come out every day. Next, expansion of the existing reservoir within the amateur radio service of trained operators, technicians, and electronics experts. Now, you might not consider yourself a trained operator, a technician, or an electronics expert, but compare yourself to the rest of the population. Sure, they may have their cell phones, but what happens when the cell phones are taken out by an earthquake or a hurricane? Those towers do come down, they fail. They may know about the internet, but what happens when the internet goes down because of a power outage or cut wire. You know how to make and string up a dipole antenna that will get you on the air and in a position to call for help. Your club can provide backup services for your county's emergency operations and 911 calls. You understand Ohm's law, which is more than the average person. And you know the basic safety precautions that you have to follow when dealing with electricity. As a technician class ham, without training, you know more about communications than the average person out there. With a little training, such as offered for free by Skywarn, Races, or Aries, you'll be a lifesaver. Finally, continuation and extension of the amateur's unique ability to enhance international goodwill. Whether it is by contesting or just leisurely rag chews on your favorite band and mode, hams the world around like and respect American hams because we're outgoing, friendly, and accepting. Many hams have even learned a few words in different languages, such as please and thank you. Has the FCC always held to these principles? The answer to that is a firm no. Ask an older ham what happened to the 220 through 222 megahertz part of the 1.25 meter band. I'll tell you the story. In short, that part of the band was given to a large delivery company that was planning on using it to communicate with and between their trucks. After acquiring the frequencies, they decided to go a different way, and they've never used them. Did they ever offer to give them back? I think you already know the answer. That said, for the most part, the FCC has held to these principles and backed us more than they have failed us. Also, there are many hams in the FCC, some in high-level positions. So it's our brothers and sisters in this hobby that are watching out for us. Well, that brings us to the end of the video. As always, thanks for dropping by the ND3N chat for a chat. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed putting it together. If you did, please give me a like by pressing on the thumbs up button. And please share this content. The best advertising in the world is word of mouth. My contact information is in the description, also on QRZ.com. Send me a picture of your shack, and I'll use it and give you guys credit in an upcoming video. Now, I can't do anything about this mug. Sorry. But I strive to make every video better than the one before. So they are improving, even if it's just incrementally. If you'd like to see more of what I've produced, please subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified when a new video is posted, please ring that bell. Until next time, 73 from Elmer Tom, ND3N, out.